Hello everybody, Flight Sim Fan here, back with another video in the F-18C Hornet. This is DCS World 2.5.2. We're sitting in active pause, which is achieved by left shift Windows pause. You need to be in single player to be able to do this, but left shift Windows pause, and you can be stationary and still operate the buttons over here, or inside the cockpit. And this video is going to be the Case 1 break and Case 1 recovery video. And it's the way the 16AGR here at the squad 16AGR does it. Well, I have in the description 2 links to 2 Google Drive slides, or not PowerPoint, yeah, slides that'll have the carrier procedures and also some charts and just a manual for the F-18 startup and other things like that. But to start off with, what we got to check off is we are 840 feet, or 800 feet, but I'm 40 feet above, but that's correctable. Around 350 knots, 345. We're 344 right now, so we'll just add a little bit of power when we come out of the pause. Next thing we're going to do is make our hook to the down position. Third, we're going to make sure our radar altimeter is set, so we're going to set this to about, that should work fine. So basically what happens, I'm setting it here, so when we pass over the wake, or when we cross the wake on the groove turn or final turn, you should hear the radar altimeter alarm. That's how you know you're in the proper descent path. Next, you want to make sure that your fuel is relatively low. I find 7,000 pounds is a nice amount. If you're higher than 8 to 9, it starts to get real sluggish. Max landing weight on the carrier, I believe, is 35 or 34,000 pounds. Don't quote me on that, but that's just rough off memory. We're also going to make sure that our anti-skid is in the off position. Flaps can stay auto for now. Launch bar is retracted. Hook bypass to carrier. You're going to make sure that you're not dumping any fuel, that your jettison is on safe, master arm is off, and everything else should be good to go. Radar can stay to operating, and that's all fine down there. And make sure the wings are folded and all good there. So I'm going to unpause now, or active pause. So let's come to the right of the ship. I'll descend a little bit. So you're looking for 350 and 800 feet. All right. Good thing to do also is have a TACAN set to your carrier. So I have 10 X-ray. I set that in the mission editor. And TACAN mileage will come up right there. And we like to break in the AGR at 1 mile. Here's 0.3. 0.4, and I'm going to pause just 1 second again. Now I have 2 ships here. I have a minimum, or that's actually kind of a downwind distance. That should be of 1 mile. And then you have a ship down here, which should be also 1 mile in front of the carrier. And that's to show you where your brake should start. If you don't have a TACAN set, you can kind of use these to reference your pattern. Something I didn't know is in active pause, apparently the carrier still moves, so let's get a move on here. So 0.5, 0.6, 7, and it's a level brake turn at 1 mile, power idle, brake. So I'd say Boeing on the brake, whatever your call sign is in your squadron. I'm going to cage the HUD now. Let's bring it all the way around, checking that ship, and make sure that the ship is to your left still here. Coming around, let's descend a little bit. 270, we could put our gear down below 250. Use a little speed brake here. Descend to 600 feet. And by the way, I should mention we are using radar altimeter, which is selected right here. Gear down. Flaps to full. Now we're passing. I'm going to pause it right here if I can. Actually, I got to fully pause it. There's the LSO platform, which is sitting around this area right here. And basically when you're abeam that position, it's called paddles contact. So if you have an LSO online, which is an AGR sometimes we do, they'll say paddles contact. Now this tells the pilot, because this pattern is more of a ziplet pattern, this tells the pilot to start his final turn, or the groove turn as it's known in the Navy. So this turn is done from where we are right now, and it's a one big left turn all the way around onto the final rollout until you're rolled out direct on the runway. So we'll show you that now. So if If there's no LSO, the pilot flying will just say paddles contact, so I could say Boeing's paddles, so everyone around me knows what I'm doing. If there is LSO, he's supposed to call your paddles. But this generally is ziplet pattern if you have LSO. If you don't, I like to announce everything I'm doing just like an uncontrolled airfield. So we'll unpause it and we'll unactive pause it. Paddles, turn left, and we're gonna get that AOA indicator there. We want the E bracket to be centered. Let me pause again. So you're looking for, there's two ways of doing this. I like the E bracket. You want to get the middle aligned with your velocity vector at all times. That's the best possible way you could do that, or the best solution, I guess. You can also use the AOA indexer right here. So if you have the orange circle, that you have the orange donut, you're good to go. So I like to use the E bracket myself, but it's whatever you prefer. And a lot of people ask me, what speed do you fly on landing? And I always reply with on speed AOA. So you always fly the AOA either indexer or E bracket. So that's what we do here. So I'm going to maintain that E bracket with pitch and throttle. So remember, this is a general rule for pretty much all aviation, but power for altitude, pitch for speed. So let's bring that back. I want a kind of a less of a steep descent. There we go. Coming around, we can check the boat. Add some more power in here. A little high, that's fine. Crossing the wake, let's get the power back. There's the alarm. So it's a tiny bit high, but that's fine. So then at this point, let me pause it. At this point, or maybe a bit closer, the LSO, if he's online, would say 3/4 mile, call the ball. And generally, the way it is fin number, type, ball, or Clara. So if you see the ball, which the meatball is right there on the left side of the ship, we see it right now. It's telling us we're a little low. You say either ball if you can see it, or Clara if you can't see it. And then your fuel state, which is we'll round down 7.0, I would say. In the squadron, we don't use the tail number. We just use our call signs because we don't have assigned tail numbers. So I would just say, for instance, Boeing Hornet ball 7.0. And now this is going to be, the way I like to do my flow is lineup, AOA, and meatball. And the lineup in AOA you can kind of put into one section because the velocity vector in the E bracket are in the same area in the HUD, and then the meatball just to the left of the runway. That's the way I like to do it. Unpause. Let's roll out quick. I wasn't expecting that. 3/4 mile, call the ball. Boeing Hornet ball 7.0. Let's get that nose up to the E bracket there. There we go. And we're maintaining ball. So I'm just looking at the ball, looking at the AOA, my lineup here. Says a little low. I'm going to add some power. Add some pitch. All right, a little high. Let's stick the nose down. Full power. And we caught the third wire there. So always full power on the deck. Hook up. Flaps up. Wings fold. Nose is steering high. A little bit of left engine power. And let's get rolling off this deck as fast as possible. But there'd be ground crew here, so you'd have to watch out for them. But then I'd say Boeing clear the active, or clear the runway, clear the deck really. And that allows people to come around and do the landing there as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this was helpful for you. If there's anything I did wrong, you put in the comments below. If anything I should improve on, I guess you can also put in the comments below. Pretty much anything you have to comment on, you can put on the comments below. And if you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.